We believe a successful nation gives back. As we've built economic opportunity and prosperity, the Porch Creek Indians have been able to give back to our neighbors in Alabama and beyond. More than $37 million since 2021 alone. From education and health care to tornado relief, learn more about our charitable giving at porchcreekindians.org.
What are you getting? Still deciding, but I do know on August 11th, I'm choosing Rhett Marcus for Congress.
Why Rhett Marcus?
Because he's a true conservative, endorsed by President Trump and Senator Katie Britt.
Oh, then you can trust him.
And he's a small business owner, not a politician.
Sounds like this choice on August 11th is the easiest decision we'll ever make.
Remember to vote on August 11th. I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
Shortwave, take it down, quick. What's it say? Shut up.
You only know we interrupt the program for the most important things. Is it breaking weather news? No. Sports? No. A major news story. Did somebody important die? No. What we have is a new flavor of Bluebell ice cream, and we do interrupt program for that kind. Kenny from Bluebell is here, and this is maybe the best one ever.
Well, I certainly think so. It's chocolate lava cake, smooth vanilla ice cream with rich chocolate cake pieces, chocolate sundae sauce, and a dark chocolate fudge swirl. It just blends together so well. In the stores now, in half gallons and pints for limited time only.
And I'm glad it's in all stores, but my experience, I always get the best price at Food Outlet because that's where I shop. It's so good. You'll notice that we keep Bluebell in the studio at all times. This is our magic random facts bucket for the morning show when we need to find a few extras. So your name is always with us, and you always make us feel good when you stop by and treat us to this. This is so good.
Well, thank you so much for that. I'm glad to do it.
Repeat that name one more time. Not your name, the name of the
Yes.
flavor.
Chocolate lava cake and in half gallons and pints, but it's worth giving it a shot. It's really good.
Oh, one bite and you're hooked. It is that good. Wow. Bluebell, every time you come in here, you bring us something great. I bought the raspberry, the black raspberry that came out earlier this year. And I'm sure I'll find room in my buggy for at least a pint. Probably the safer route for me is the pint because I get involved in documentaries, but I don't want to eat a whole half gallon at once, which I think I could easily do with this one. So good. Thank you so much for stopping by and visiting.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Bluebell is the best. And by the way, the red, white, and Bluebell, is that still in stores or is that just temporary?
Yes, it is. Celebrating America's 250th anniversary.
And you can celebrate that any day, not just the 4th, throughout the whole summer.
Mm-hmm.
So try that one too. Try a pint of each. The black raspberry, the red, white, and Bluebell, and the new one. I need the containers so I can.
Chocolate lava cake. Yes, sir.
Chocolate lava cake. I can remember that. Thank you so much for coming by.
All right. Thank you for having me.
How about that? Much beloved and glorious Terry Adams with us this afternoon.
Yeah.
What are you pulling double duty today? I noticed you were in.
Yeah, and then I had to run up to the lakes and, take care of mom's cats and stuff. So it's been a busy day.
Wow.
But
you
it's
were
okay.
here, went up to the lake, and came back already?
Yeah.
I may need you to fill the last half hour for me today.
No problem, sir. That's why I'm here.
Because I am running into a little bit of a wall energy-wise. Things are going well. Monday, I go back to Baptist South for the follow-up. We'll see if everything is healing correctly.
Yeah. Piece of cake. Piece of cake.
They told me not to do that before I come back. No cake, no ice cream.
Mm-hmm. No, we can't have that.
But if that were true, why am I feeling so good enjoying this stuff right now?
It's a guilty pleasure.
Just
Truly
like sex.
Guilty pleasure.
It's 9 minutes after 3 o'clock. We've got Rich's forecast. Let me take a quick look at the Live in Fear Doppler. There have been some impressive clouds building up here and there over the afternoon. Let's see if we can expect anything on the afternoon commute. Temperature is 93, hit index 104, which is 8 degrees lower than this time yesterday.
Wow.
And as far as rain is concerned, it doesn't look like we're going to see much in our neck of the woods through the afternoon. But we will see David Blackman right around 3:30 this afternoon. At some point, we will replay our interview with Coach Tuberville from this morning. I don't know if you're able to catch that, but we love having him on. The morning show he's on about once a month. And covered a lot of topics from data centers to eliminating state taxes, crime, and, of course, the whole Fauci farce. So it's got a lot of good stuff in it, and virtually 90% of it was stuff driven by listener questions. So we thank everybody who participated in that thread, including the local chapter of the DSA, who found the thread and put the usual Beazle Schmeazle in there. You guys are so predictable. Come up with a different idea. I think we can get an early traffic report in here, too. Why not be efficient with our time?
Sure.
Market had a big day and regained about half of yesterday's losses, which is nice in one day.
Yeah.
And Brett McDonald from Waverly Advisors will join us at 5:15. At least that's the current scheduled time to explain this abrupt turnaround. It's been a real Dramamine-inducing kind of ride on the market lately. First traffic, Jerry.
In the Montgomery Skywatch Traffic Center, we have an accident at Wetumpka. It's on Main Street, right in front of the Civic Center. Be careful there. In Montgomery, 65, 85, the Boulevard, all doing good. Invisible Fence. They have both indoor and outdoor systems, keeping your pets safe and in designated areas. Call Vicky at Invisible Fence, 265-2585. I'm Jerry Howell for Montgomery Skywatch, filling in for Wendell J.
Hey there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. Our partnership with Blue Water Broadcasting has reached thousands of listeners in the river region. People listen, people call. Now there's mortgage savings for us all.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days, Diamond Jewelry Giveaway, and TV Tuesdays, TV Giveaway with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama.
Hi, everybody. Your chances of encountering an evening storm tonight are small, but not zero. They will tend to fade out overnight with a low temperature in the middle 70s. Tomorrow, Friday, much the same. Sun and cloud mix, high in the middle 90s, triple-digit heat indices, and widely scattered to isolated storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. But the number of storms will increase dramatically over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, the rain chances are higher, just more storms to go around. They'll still be random, but some storms over the weekend could be quite strong with damaging wind gusts possible. Highs will back down to the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
People think the world's gone to hell, that it's gotten so violent. But the world never got violent. There is no God. The world has been violent since the beginning. Cain killed Abel. Cain killed Abel. The third person on the planet killed the fourth person on the planet. We weren't even able to make it to 3 people before somebody was a murderer. At one time, a third of the people on the planet were murderers, right? A third of the people in the hood aren't murderers. A third of the people who own guns aren't murderers. A third of the people in jail aren't even murderers, right? San Quentin, Alcatraz, Folsom Prison are safer than the book of Genesis. If you thought Compton and Baghdad were tough, try downtown Eden when the sun goes down. There was murder and violence at person 3. One couple had 2 boys who had the world to themselves, and one of them was claiming this town ain't big enough for the 2 of us, right? Cain killed 25% of the world's population. That's more than Stalin, Hitler, Idi Amin, Pol Pot, King Herod, Genghis Khan, Manifest Destiny, typhoid, cancer, AIDS, cooties, all combined. Cain killed a third of the people he knew. He knew 3 people. He killed one of them. If you knew Cain, you had a 66 2/3% chance of survival. There's no such thing as the good old days. There was like one good day. It was half a day. Adam and Eve were naked, alone in an oasis. Lunchtime came. People got hungry. Apples were eaten. Boom, Detroit.
It's happy hour, come gather round. Greg and Pamela break it all down. Talking politics and the whacked out world. Every headline makes the chaos swirl. It's time for a smoke break. David Johnson, Monday and Thursday on Happy Hour. Mr. Thespian steals Tuesday spotlight on Happy Hour. Eddie Duffy on Friday with some snacks on Happy Hour. Laugh a little louder while the whole world swirls. Hanging out in the chat will change your world. On Happy Hour. On Happy Hour. Oh, Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
On Happy Hour.
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast.
It is a big broadcast for a Thursday. And on Thursday, that means we explore the American Idiocracy with David Blackman. That's coming up. Riding shotgun this afternoon. The overworked and underpaid Terry Adams. I can't believe I did this.
No. And here they are.
Smattering of buzz.
I love this. Wish
Hey.
I'd done it sooner.
Mind if I check the score of the Yankee-White Sox game?
Baseball?
The Yankees, who couldn't hit a bull in the butt with a base fiddle, actually scored 4 runs last night and blew the game. I was not a happy placing after that. What do we got here? Cubs over the Cardinals 2-1.
The Cubbies.
It's in the 8th inning. 8th inning, and neither team has scored.
Wow.
Yankees need a hitter, man.
Yeah.
And don't ask me why I care so much. I really have no explanation for it.
It's okay. You're a baseball fan. It happens.
Why the Yankees? Why did I happen to?
Well, they've been on top for so long, and when you think baseball, that's the first team that comes to mind.
You ever been bitten by a barracuda?
Not yet.
13-year-old girl bitten badly by a barracuda. I've seen schools of them. The one time I went scuba diving, schools of them, they would just go by and ignore you.
Ooh.
But they can be, they're really vicious looking things.
Yeah, they look mean.
Up close and personal.
I did the handstand, just felt like a lot of pressure. I just looked up from my hand, and I just saw blood everywhere. It was just blood running through my whole arm. It was just like a horror movie.
She stepped in and said, "I'm a nurse, can I please help?" And I said, "Yes, please." And so she created a tourniquet and helped stop the bleeding while we were waiting for the ambulance to arrive. She named the barracuda Susie. She's like, "I'm not mad at the ocean. I'm a little mad at Susie."
What do you say when that happens?
Ooh, barracuda.
That's a good song.
That's a good song.
And yeah,
Heart.
Call me corny. I can be corny from time to time.
That's a great song. Heart was a great band.
Yes.
Those 2 women could rock, man.
Annie Wilson's coming to Impact in September.
Yes, that's what I heard. That's awesome. They're getting some really good talent here. I'm impressed.
Not only is it a chance, speaking of really good talent, see that sign on the wall there at the bottom? Leanne Morgan.
Leanne Morgan.
See what that says there?
The Time of Our Lives tour? That one? Or
No.
Montgomery Performing Arts?
No, see what the handwriting says on the right.
Oh.
You read that?
I can't read that. Is that your name, Greg?
Yes, that's girl bubble writing. You should be able to decipher that. Does Lynn write in bubble writing?
No.
Oh.
She does it in cursive.
Ah.
I love cursive.
It says, to Greg, love Leanne Morgan. Do you think that means anything? Can I take that? How seriously should I take that?
Looking at her pretty seriously. You know, she's pretty.
No, she loves Chuck Morgan. He buys her new boobs when she needs them.
So a lot to be said for that, I guess.
He's in good shape there.
A lot to be said for that.
So we will be joining David Blackman here. Let's take a quick look at some of the headlines this afternoon. It's almost impossible. Did you watch any of the Fauci hearings?
I'm sorry, did I want to what?
Watch any of the Fauci hearings?
Please, no, please. Anything but that. I can't stand that man.
No. Well,
He's a scumbag. It's a liar.
remarkably, he got the expected protection from the Democrats, but he was so exposed. And now this is one of the things we'll talk with David at length. Okay, so he did all this damage. He may have done more damage to this country.
Yep.
This one man, this one overpowered bureaucrat, than some of the wars that we've been involved in the history of this country.
Absolutely.
And some of this damage is just not repairable, like homes schooling over the internet and all of that. We can't have kids in class.
It's insane.
We
Did
need
you
a
ever
new
think you'd see a time where you couldn't enter a bank unless you wore a mask? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Think
it
about
is.
it. It's
Yeah,
insane.
you're 100% right. It was insanity. And we, for some reason, goose-stepped right along with the little Führer.
Well, I just hope that everything I'm reading about Guantanamo Bay and how they've enlarged the courtrooms and how they're building more and more of the racks of, I forget what you call them, where they lynch people. Let's just hope that that's going to lead to tribunals. That's
Some
the
of these
rumor.
people. I would hope.
I hope so.
Because the demand for justice. Okay, so we know that Fauci did this. We know the criminal actions of the Clintons, the illegal things that were done by Barack Obama.
Absolutely.
And all those
Gain
deep
of
state
function
critters.
research. Yep.
James Brennan, Clapper, all of those. John Brennan, James Clapper. Those guys all need some time in jail.
Yes. It's treason.
And the American people need to understand what they did was wholly and totally illegal. Even no matter how much you hate Donald Trump, that does not justify the abrogation of one's basic fundamental rights or skirting the law to try and be clever. And sadly, there are still people that believe that Trump actually went to Russia and enjoyed having hookers tinkle on him. I mean, that's
Good grief.
ultimate lunacy. All right, our show.
Greg, it's hard to be logical with illogical people.
You can't.
That's the problem.
No, you can't. You
No,
can't be
you
logical
can't.
with
You
logical
can't.
people.
You just can't.
Something is missing from here. Well, let me take this moment to remind everybody that our show is brought to you in part by Don Duncan All American Auto and Tire, with 4 locations to provide you ongoing maintenance for your vehicle. And absolutely, I had a friend that's having to yesterday. Tire light came on. Sadly, there was no Don Duncan in the middle of Wyoming.
No, not
But when
yet.
that kind of thing happens here, it's great to know where you can take your car and get not only the diagnosis, but the repair, the replacement tire, whatever it is you happen to need for your vehicle, even replacement wipers. They've got you covered. Tires available at a wholesale price because Don does direct business with all the major manufacturers. Top-notch mechanics at each location, and all of which have been imbued with a level of customer service that is the best in the business. If you need an accommodation to ride back to your home, office, whatever, want to do it by appointment, they can do that. Whatever it takes to make you a regular customer. But it's always nice to find a place that you can trust. And trust is the foundation of everything they built that business on. Locations on Bell Road. The manager there is Doug Mitchell. Please mention my name when you speak with him. 408 Madison. Preston down there does a great job. That's downtown. So if you work there, bringing your car in and getting to work is simple. 2 in Millbrook, 1 high atop Mount Duncan. Young Mitch Duncan is up there, leading a great team. And then on Cusada in Millbrook as well. For Don Duncan All American Auto and Tire, look him up on Facebook. Get yourself into the VIP club and earn yourself a free Works, a full service on your car. Traffic news, and then David Blackman coming up.
The Montgomery Skywatch Traffic Center, they're finishing up that accident in Wetumpka. It's on Main Street, right in front of the Civic Center. I checked all around Montgomery. We're still doing okay here, even the boulevard around the truck stop. Drive carefully this afternoon. At McKinnon Toyota, they have 3.9% financing on Tacomas and the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212. They're off I-65 in Clanton. I'm Jerry Howell for Montgomery Skywatch, filling in for Wendell J.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes,
Land or investments?
absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Bowen Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery police are investigating a shooting that left a man injured Wednesday morning. Officers responded to the 4300 block of Radburn Drive around 10:30, where an unidentified male had been wounded by gunfire. The shooting victim was transported to a local hospital in serious condition. Police have provided no further details. A suspect has been arrested in connection with a weekend shooting that killed a Montgomery man. 19-year-old Cedric Wilson was arrested Wednesday and charged with the murder of 20-year-old Michael Hill Jr. The shooting happened just after 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon in the 4200 block of Amherst Drive. Police have provided no further details or a motive for the shooting. 3 suspects are in custody in connection with the July 17th shooting on McGee Road. 23-year-old Nizelle Marquise Coles and teenagers Zariah Bailey and Nico McWilliams have been charged with attempted murder. The unidentified victim was shot in the head during a robbery at a gas station in the 2900 block of McGee Road. The victim was shot in the temple and lost his right eye as a result. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, flooring tools, and installation supplies. Find it all at Budget Floors and More in Montgomery. Big selection, contractor pricing, and personal service you won't find at the big boxes. Across from Publix in Del Reyna and online at budgetfloorsmgm.com.
Feeling the pinch on your food budget? You're not alone, but saving is easy every day at Food Outlet, Montgomery, Prattville, and Millbrook. And remember, Food Outlet is priced at cost, plus just 10%. Listen to these specials good through August 4th. USDA chuck roast only $6.42 a pound. The 7-ounce assorted banquet pot pies, 97 cents each. Stay hydrated with Powerade drinks, the 28-ounce bottle, 89 cents. USDA chicken leg quarters in the 10-pound bag, $5.95. Sunnyland Jumbos, 95 cents for the 1-pound package. Get a pound of sweet fresh strawberries for only $2.47. And take home Coca-Cola products in the 24-pack cans, $10.79. Food Outlet is locally owned. When you shop here, more of your money stays right here in our community. Your Food Outlet stores open 7 days a week, 7 till 9. Check us out on Facebook for more great specials. Food Outlet in Eastbrook Shopping Center, Montgomery, Prattville at 720 East Main, and in Millbrook at 3543 Highway 14. Shop Food Outlet and pay cost plus 10%.
Macklemore Dentistry can handle basic dentistry all the way up to the more complex smile restoration procedures with the absolute best care.
Their in-house lab features state-of-the-art technology in office, which saves you time and money. JT is a patient and loves his results, and we've met so many other patients who've had a great experience.
Explore the solutions available to you when it comes to a dazzling smile. Call today 277-9570 or check out drmclemordentistry.com.
Hello everyone, Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Everybody, your chances of encountering an evening storm tonight are small, but not zero. They will tend to fade out overnight with a low temperature in the middle 70s. Tomorrow, Friday, much the same. Sun and cloud mix, high in the middle 90s, triple-digit heat indices, and widely scattered to isolated storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. But the number of storms will increase dramatically over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, the rain chances are higher, just more storms to go around. They'll still be random, but some storms over the weekend could be quite strong with damaging wind gusts possible. Highs will back down to the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Sucking on a chili dog, 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 chili dog, sucking on a chili dog, sucking on a dog, sucking on a chili dog, sucking on chili dog. Sucking on a dog, sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on chili, sucking on a dog. Sucking on a chili dog, sucking on chili dogs. A little ditty about Jack and Diane. Two American kids sucking on a chili dog.
As the 21st century began, natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. A dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Oi! David Blackman and Greg Budell present Tales of the Idiocracy.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
And now, friends, we go to somewhere in Texas, Dallas, and vicinity. A city with quite the reputation, I might add. To America's savviest and most honest and perspicacious political blogger, oil and gas industry expert, and Dodger fan, David Blackman. Welcome, sir.
Howdy.
Oh. Did you not hear any of that?
I heard all of that.
Oh, okay, good.
But now I'm getting an echo.
All right, the echo is gone.
Okay.
I just realized that the top button, which is for some reason off, so I worry you didn't hear the introduction. And forgive me, I'm a little bit. It's one of those days, you make progress for a couple of days following a surgery, and then you hit a wall.
Oh,
it's been one of those days, so I'm a little dull. I actually probably belong on the other side of the show in the Idiocracy as an active participant. But maybe, by the way, the thing that made me laugh the hardest all day, and there was some good stuff, Dave Chappelle's impersonation of Fauci on the witness stand yesterday was top notch.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. I missed that.
But when I read your blog, I'll find it. It's a short clip. When I read your blog today and the story about the Seattle Storm.
Oh, my God.
So who owns the Seattle Storm, you ask? Well, take a look. And from my left to your right, there's Butch, Chubbs, Tubby. I don't even know what to call them. Butch and Butch, yeah. It's and that's a story we'll hit a little bit later, but I think we have to begin with Fauci. It was breathtaking. It was no surprise. And will there be any consequences? I think that's the question everybody wants to know.
No.
I mean, other than to his reputation, no. No, the federal government's not going to do a damn thing to him.
Nope.
You can be sure that no one in the Department of Justice has been assigned to investigate anything related to him. And Rand Paul's, he's been talking to every reporter, anytime he sees a microphone, he rushes over to it and starts talking. But, they'll try to do a contempt of Congress resolution next week in the Senate, and the Democrats will find a way to scuttle that, unless John Thune finds a way to scuttle it first, or John Cornyn or Tom Tillis object to it. These crybabies who lost their primaries. Bill Cassidy, the three little pigs at this point, three little deep state pigs.
And don't seem to have the slightest inclination to want to know why they lost.
Yeah, no, I mean, they don't care. Their livelihood's going away. Their grift is going away. They're not going to be getting all the insider deals anymore. And so they're bitter and angry, and they're going to go out yelling and screaming and crying, just like a 3-year-old toddler.
To what extent was the legacy media able to ignore this thing yesterday?
The wall kind
Or
of
downplayed.
broke afterwards. CNN did a couple of panels on it. I don't know if MSNBC has done anything. The networks all carry brief reports on their evening news, just criticizing the Republicans and covering up for Fauci, which is to be expected. So, it was covered by Newsmax and Fox and News Nation, which is fast becoming my favorite news channel at this point. But otherwise, not really heavily covered anywhere.
Having a little internet issue here. I'm sorry, what was your favorite news channel? That kind of got bumped out.
News Nation is
David
quickly becoming my favorite because there's some balance there. There's real news most of the day. That it's not all celebrity hosts and panel discussions with people yelling back and forth at each other, and I'm tired of that. And
That's so crazy. It just might work.
Yeah, it just might work. It's kind of like the CNN model of the early 1980s without the far left wing bias that Ted Turner brought to it.
You got to tell it, maybe not today, but one day again, you've got to tell that Ted Turner story you shared a few weeks ago.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It's a
I
good
really
story.
enjoyed that.
It's an interesting story, I think.
So, as you mentioned in your blog, he had some of the highest paid attorneys you can have in D.C., one of whom got thrown
Half a
out. Which
dozen
was,
of 'em. Yeah. I mean, one of them who insisted on sitting at the witness stand despite the chairman of the committee ordering him not to, sat there anyway with Fauci, kept interrupting, and finally Rand Paul had him carried out. And that was intentional. You try to, these witnesses who don't have anything legitimate to offer in their own defense, they always try to create a sideshow.
Sure.
And so that lawyer was the sideshow, and some of the liberal media organizations picked up on it and criticized Paul for having him thrown out. Why can't Fauci have his own lawyer sitting at the table? Well, he's got 5 more of them sitting right behind him.
Yeah.
And so what makes me so angry about it all?
Yes.
Is Fauci has no legal standing to plead the Fifth Amendment in that hearing. He should have been immediately ordered to begin testifying or been taken away by the Capitol Police to be confined. That's what would happen to many witnesses, ordinary people who come before Congress and refuse to offer testimony under subpoena. Because he's been pardoned by Biden's auto pen, and that pardon has not been, the legitimacy of it hasn't been tested in court, so you have to assume it's a legitimate pardon. He no longer has standing. He no longer has Fifth Amendment protection under the Constitution because of that. And no one on that committee, including Rand Paul, made any reference to that other than Paul telling him that, they had put a copy of the Fifth Amendment and a legal analysis of it on the table in front of him. That was the
Nobody
only
called
thing
him
he
out?
said about it in the whole hearing. And so that just tells you the fix is in. The Republicans aren't really going to do anything.
No.
They they had a chance to begin the process of holding him really accountable. Yesterday didn't do it. And no one else is going to do it. Todd Blanchard isn't going to risk his confirmation on that. Of course he's not. And so it's just classic DC kabuki theater, with a lot of sound and fury signifying not much at all.
I use the term libtard, and this is what qualifies you. There's a woman on Fox, her last name is Gounder, and she's absolutely insisting, even in lieu of everything that we know is in that diary, that Fauci was not seeking fame and attention during the COVID period.
Oh my God.
You have got to have petrified portions of your brain to make a statement like that. Also, from your blog this morning, seeking additional evidence, I asked Senator Tuberville this morning, is Mitch alive? And he said, I live next door to him. I haven't seen him in 4 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I hear, he hasn't seen any meat wagons come and go from the McConnell residence. And basically, he just said he's had a good relationship. We're going to replay that whole interview after our segment today, David, in the 5:30 to 6 o'clock segment. It was good. He covered a lot of ground from data centers. And
you notice about McConnell is we had that flurry, what was it, 3 weeks ago now, I guess, or maybe just 2, but it seems like 3, where half a dozen of Scott Jennings and John Thune and John Barrasso and a couple other people came out on the same day. All of them claimed to have had the same 20-minute conversation with Mitch McConnell on exactly the same topics, lasted for exactly the same amount of time, put out exactly the same posts on X announcing that they'd had those conversations.
Scripted.
And not a single person since then has made a claim that they had a 20-minute conversation or any conversation with Mitch McConnell.
none of that smelled right. And I got to tell you, I was disappointed in Jennings in particular for participating in that, because that had to be a scam or a sham or something.
All in unison, scripted.
Also from David's blog, which you can subscribe to at davidblackman.substack.com. Another thing that made me burst into laughter this morning, and I stole it from David's blog and posted it on Facebook as evidence that Mitch McConnell is among the living. A picture next to, his wife looks a lot like Donna Douglas from the Beverly Hillbillies, and he looks an awfully lot like Granny.
Granny,
Wow.
That's the best meme I've seen all week.
I've had 200 reactions to that. I want to check the insights to see how far this little piece of mischief from your page has reached today. Let's see, 435 engagements.
Wow.
And over 10,000 views. This is why you need to subscribe to David's blog, because you're not only going to get hardcore, accurate information that's not spun, it is unspun, and some very humorous moments from time to time. David, we interrupt our broadcast for a very important piece of business. I want to see if the Yankees scored.
The
mighty,
right now.
the mighty Yankees are. First of all, they blew a game. They actually managed to push 4 runs across the plate yesterday, and then lose the game in extra innings.
Oh,
and they would be going for a sweep. Now they can win the series with a win, but through 9 innings, Yankees, no runs, 5 hits. White Sox, no runs, 3 hits.
Well, it's a slugfest.
Yeah, because Yankee fans are punching themselves in the head
Yeah.
all over the country
It's
in
like a
frustration over this.
1965 duel between Koufax and Marichal.
Did I ever tell you I was lucky enough to see Sandy pitch at Wrigley
No
Field?
Oh, at
Yeah.
Wrigley?
Yeah.
I saw him at the Astrodome. That was when I became a Dodger fan.
Back then, the Cubs would maybe get 8 or 10,000 for a game, but when the Dodgers came in and Sandy was pitching, it was a Sunday. There's only 2 people I've heard pop the catcher's mitt with a fastball that loud: Sandy Koufax and Nolan Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're just live in a different world, kind of like where Jacob Mizorowski from the Brewers seems to play these days. Oh, you're going off
about the game. I got tickets right behind home plate when Nolan Ryan and Roger Clemens were pitching against each other.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Clemens was with the Red Sox at the time, and this was in '92 or '93, and I'd seen Ryan pitch 20 games by then. I mean, he'd been in Arlington for a couple of years by then, and but I'd never been up close like that, and you could literally hear his pitch sizzling as it came towards the plate. You could literally hear it sizzle. And Clemens was throwing fast. I mean, he was another guy with a near 100-mile fastball, but it didn't make any noise. Ryan's ball was just different. I mean, it just was different.
I think if they measured it with today's sophisticated technology, it would be as fast as Mizorowski or anybody else.
I do too. Yeah, I really believe that.
And there were batters that said if even on a foul tip, you could smell smoke, scorch from the ball skipping the bat, which is interesting. Wow. Not that we're looking for diversions here. We've got a lot of ground to cover today. What is the next step in this Fauci process now? Paul says he's going to seek a contempt of Congress vote from the full Senate.
It's supposed to happen next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Now, given what they all sat there and heard, why wouldn't they give him that?
Well, I mean, the Fetterman will be the only Democrat that would vote for it. And I doubt Fetterman would, actually. The rest of them are just, I mean, so the other thing that came out today is Paul said, they gave passwords to every one of those senators so that they could go take a look at the diary. They sent it all, password to them all on Sunday. And not a single one of them used that password to access the diary, to even read what was in it. Not a single Democrat. They're intentionally ignorant.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can be a liberal, is to be intentionally ignorant, to ensure you don't learn anything that disrupts your worldview. So that doesn't surprise me. So no Democrat will vote for it. And then you've got Tillerson, Cornyn, and Cassidy, these three stooges, who there's no telling what they're going to do. And I mean, there's just no telling. They're all so angry that they're getting run out of Washington like they deserve to be.
Yes.
That there's just no telling what they're going to muck up between now and the end of the year. So I just don't think that has a chance. The one good thing is the Attorney General out of Florida, whose name I'm not going to remember at the moment.
I know who you're talking about, yes.
Has opened an investigation to investigate Fauci, whatever violations he may have committed under Florida state law and violations of Florida citizens' civil rights, which there's no doubt 1,000 things he could find under that. And I don't understand why he's the only Republican attorney general in this country who has opened such an investigation. I don't understand why every one of them didn't open an investigation 3 years ago or 5 years ago.
I ran a thread with my Facebook group last night asking for any questions that you're interested in asking. And one in particular was about Harris, the guy here who a lot of people think should be part of an investigation along with Fauci on the state level. But I don't have much information above and beyond that, and we never got to that with Senator Tuberville today, because barring something totally unforeseen, he will be the next governor of Alabama. I don't have a doubt in my mind about that. And I can't wait. Yes, it will. At this point, though, he had a bad day yesterday, but accountability, that's probably wishful thinking at this point.
Yeah. I just don't see anything really happening unless one of the state investigations gets legs. I just don't, not from the federal end. The swamp isn't going to punish the ultimate swamp creature.
That's right. Exactly right.
Well, take away his pension, at least make him be accountable in some way. They can do that kind of thing, can't they? When somebody,
They could if they wanted to, but the other thing to remember that,
They don't
you
want
know, I got to thinking about this morning is a lot of these Republicans in Congress were there in 20 and 21, and they were complicit in all this.
Uh-huh.
President Trump
Yep.
was
Rolled
complicit
him
in
out.
all of this. President
Yep.
Trump
Rolled him out.
had the ability to pull the plug on Fauci any day he wanted to pull that plug and chose not to for political reasons.
That's right.
And he
That
tried
would
to
have been-
wave that off yesterday by saying, well, you know, I listened to him, but I ignored most of what he told me. He wanted me to shut everything down, and I did the right thing under the Constitution and went the Federalist route. And, you know, that's true as far as it goes. But that's still, you know, he knew if he really knew what Fauci was telling him was BS, well, then he should have fired him.
Yeah.
You don't just let a little menace like that keep going in front of the TV cameras and propagandizing the country
Exactly.
with impunity.
Exactly right.
You can't talk about
And
the
so-
little menace
yeah.
without bringing into his partner, the Queen of Scarves, Deborah Burks, into the conversation. And today she said, I was really surprised
Oh, yeah.
when I read the contents of the diary. Oh, and by the way, this is the biggest story of all this afternoon. And I hadn't seen her on a media situation in years. She was not wearing a scarf.
What?
I always thought she was hiding like Frankenstein spikes underneath all that cloth foliage that she
I
kept
just
around her
figured
neck.
She was conscious about a turkey neck or something, you know.
Well,
I mean, a lot of
I didn't
people-
see one of those either, but that may have been surgically addressed at some point.
Well, hey, you know, it's expensive maintaining a collection of scarves like that. That's not cheap stuff she was wearing.
You know, referencing Trump's role in all of this, I do remember early on when what was the first term they used when we went into the lockdown? 2 weeks to flatten the curve or something.
Yeah, 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
And I remember a reporter asking Trump in that time, when do you think we can start seeing the country reopen?
Yes.
And he said, around Easter.
Yes, I remember that.
Which would have been about 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And oh my God, the hysteria that followed that comment. 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got an election to rig. We're not going to be able to reopen that early. We're going to take all the time we need. Yeah, it's like with Senator Tuberville. I said, we know that there are enormous scars left behind on kids who lost social and educational development going with the Zoom approach to education and all that. But the story I remember most was a guy, we didn't have a putt-putt here in the river region, and a young man, entrepreneur in Wetumpka, which is a great little town just to the northwest of our city, opened one up there, and the timing couldn't have been worse.
Yeah.
And within
like
3 months, he had to close it down because of COVID and because of Fauci's. And I said, is it possible that one day people, now that we know that most of that advice was beazle schmeazle, there should be some kind of a fund, reparations,
There you go.
legitimate reparations for people who can prove financial damage from the mismanagement of COVID. I know that we don't need to spend more money on one hand, but on the other,
It's fair. It's fair.
there should be some kind of compensation fund for people who didn't have a choice. It wasn't like Fauci suggested, I wouldn't open a putt-putt right now. But if you're going to open a putt-putt, make everybody wear 20 masks.
Yeah. And make sure all the holes are 20 feet separated from each other.
Yeah, exactly, right. Make sure you have little footprints so you hit the ball.
And everybody has
But-
to play
yeah.
alone. You can't
But from
play
here-
in couples or threesomes. And
No, it was just, no, you're not doing that. They closed churches. They even broke up outdoor services when reverends had people gather in their cars in parking lots, using a low FM radio signal to transmit the message. And
But
police
what
came
did
and
they
broke
not
that up.
close? What did they not close?
Exactly.
Liquor stores and strip joints.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
That's right. Casinos.
They all got
yep.
to stay open. Remember?
Yes.
That's right.
forget
You're
that.
right.
And of course, the
people
people that
forget about
closed all those places, they were out there having a good time. Remember Gretchen Whitmer, the
Oh,
Fuhrer of Michigan, flying to Florida to visit her dad while everybody in Michigan was locked up. and numerous Pritzker in Illinois, same
Yep.
thing.
Whole bunch of them.
Yeah, and Newsom, of course, that infamous dinner in the vineyard. That,
Yep. Violating their own rules.
Yeah, you stay home, but I'm important, and I need a restaurant dinner tonight, so up yours.
Really,
which
the
is-
only two governors in the whole country who did the right thing were Kristi Noem in South Dakota, who never shut a damn thing down, and Ron DeSantis, who was initially bullied into shutting down part of Florida's economy, but then reopened against Fauci's raving and ranting 2 weeks later, reopened the state and kept it open. And so those were the only two governors. I mean, my governor in Texas, who I generally think is okay, Greg Abbott, he's such a political coward, calculating political coward.
Yep.
He formed up a 39-member advisory committee, which inevitably meant that he could shift responsibility for every decision that was made off onto this committee made up of these 39 people no one had ever heard of, business leaders and church leaders and, cross section of state leaders. And so that he would never be blamed for anything because he always could say he was advised by this committee. But the other part of it was we were one of the slowest states to reopen because of that, one of the slowest red states. So, these Republican governors did not do themselves. They were not profiles in courage as a general rule and all of that.
Well said.
And they did such a masterful job of sinking a majority of the public into an absolute total fear that even doing the right thing would probably not have been well received. We're going to conclude this section of Fauci.
Can I say one other thing? Just one other thing?
Whatever you want.
I was so critical of Abbott during that. I actually got a call one day from the governor's office about things I was writing about that.
Uh-oh.
True story. Anyway.
What did they suggest?
They suggest I should tone things down.
Yeah. Wow.
That they were not really happy with me. And,
No, you're making a difference.
I'm a simple hawk show toast in Montgomery, Alabama. What harm can I do? You're a blogger, a humble blogger from somewhere in Texas near Dallas and vicinity. What damage can you do, really? It's after all, we're only peddling the truth here. How much can that hurt?
Ooh,
and that's why we do this show. David, we're going to take our top of the hour news break here. Got some weather and traffic to squeeze in, and we will be back with you ASAP.
Good.
And subscribe to David's blog by visiting davidblackman.substack.com. A little bit later, we'll take a look at the Smoky Notes menu. That's up your way. That's
it's right across the street.
Good place for you and the missus.
Been there many a time.
At Lagoon Park Shopping Center and some of the finest barbecue, man. They start working on the brisket you're eating tonight the day before because they do no shortcuts at Smoky Notes. And we'll give you the full menu treatment. But I do want to put in a good word for the cabbage appetizer and side. And the baked beans, too. Oh, and the macaroni and cheese.
There you go. That's the key. That's how you determine a good restaurant.
Mac and cheese with a cheese that's so thick you literally have to cut it with your fork.
Yep.
It's worth the extra effort, friends. Great kids menu, potato twists, platters. Get a plate with two sides or a sandwich with one. Great drinks. They've totally redone the interior of what used to be the It'll Do Tavern. And they don't do any shortcuts when it comes to putting together great barbecue. It's Smoky Notes.
Good stuff.
On Northern Boulevard. How is traffic in that area right now, Gary?
From the Montgomery Skywatch Traffic Center, we're looking good this afternoon. Of course, the heat's getting on a lot of people's nerves. Be careful when you drive. A little courtesy goes a long way. I don't see anything right now that's going to slow you down. Your future, it starts this fall at Trenholm State Community College. They're enrolling now for fall 2026. Go to trenholmstate.edu. Get more information. I'm Jerry Howell for Montgomery Skywatch, filling in for Wendell J.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are several ways to attract more buyers to your home. First, price it right to sell, not to sit. An accurate market analysis will tell you what price it should be. Next, prepare the home to show and sell by deep cleaning by a professional cleaner, including carpet. Declutter all rooms, including closets. Evaluate flooring, replace if needed. Paint inside and out where needed, and make the kitchen and bath sparkle. How about the exterior? Are the colors faded on the shutters or fascia? Power washing them and all sidewalks and driveways and patios prior to listing the house. Remember, your price and curb appeal will create a showing appointment. Your condition of the house will make them stay and look longer and buy quicker. For all the steps you need to take to get your house ready for sale, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 334-221-2883 or 334-551-0225.
What are you getting? Still deciding, but I do know on August 11th, I'm choosing Rhett Marcus for Congress. Why Rhett Marcus? Because he's a true conservative, endorsed by President Trump and Senator Katie Britt. Oh, then you can trust him. And he's a small business owner, not a politician. Sounds like this choice on August 11th is the easiest decision we'll ever make.
Remember to vote on August 11th. I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
WAKA, Blue Water Broadcasting, Ty and Doll Incorporated, and Piggly Wiggly Food for Less invite you to help us stuff the truck on Saturday, August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sturbridge Piggly Wiggly Food for Less. Donate non-perishable food, classroom supplies, or cash to help local students facing food insecurity and support our teachers. Visit WAKA.com for a shopping list and stop by our community resource fair for valuable services and information for River Region families. Together, we can stuff the truck and strengthen our community.
Tired of spending your weekends fighting weeds, patchy grass, and a mower that never starts? Mosley Lawn Pros is the solution. They handle residential and commercial lawn maintenance, landscaping, cleanups, and property care so you don't have to. They show up on time, do the job right, and leave your lawn looking sharp every time. Stop stressing over your yard and start loving it. When it comes to your lawn, call the crew your neighbors and local businesses trust. One call, one crew, problem solved. Mosley Lawn Pros, built on hard work, driven by quality. Find them today on Facebook or Google.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Today is July 30th, Father-in-Law Day. Time to celebrate that lovable, generous, hardworking, admirable man who, for some unexplainable reason, married your mother-in-law. Happy Father-in-Law Day, big guy.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
402, Jesse.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The White House is encouraging veterans who drove large military vehicles to consider a career in trucking. The president's been tightening the rules against illegals behind the wheel of big rigs, something he says has put American truck drivers out of work and made the roads less safe. And he says attracting more veterans to trucking will help to replace some of those illegal immigrant drivers who've recently lost their licenses under his crackdown. The president's election ahead of the Labor Department, that is Acting Secretary Keith Sonderling, now one step closer to full Senate confirmation after a committee has advanced his nomination to the full Senate. The U.S. economy showed clear signs of resilience in the second quarter, according to the latest GDP numbers that came out this morning. On Wall Street, investors optimistic today. They drove the Dow up by a total of 613 points. The high-tech NASDAQ up by 679. This is SRN News.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Do you feel like you're running on a financial treadmill, making payment after payment, month after month, yet never getting ahead? If you're tired of watching your hard-earned money disappear into interest charges, there may be options available to help you take back control of your finances. At Total Financial Freedom, they'll show you what qualified consumers may be able to save through programs designed to help them resolve debt faster than making minimum payments alone. The consultation is free, confidential, and comes with absolutely no obligation. Why Why spend years, sometimes decades, paying thousands in interest when there may be a better path forward? Total Financial Freedom is a Christian-owned company that has helped thousands of Americans pursue financial freedom for nearly 20 years and is proudly A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now and ask how you can receive a complimentary copy of The Debt Dietitian. Stop running in place. Start moving toward financial freedom at 866-744-7344. 866-744-7344.
Shortwave, take it down, quick. What's it say? Shut up.
Wiener with breaking News Talk Family News. We are happy to announce that Master Thespian, our friend the Great Warhawk, became a grandfather for the 4th time, and his first granddaughter, Maple Atlas Wallace, 7.3 pounds, 17 and a half inches long. The happiest days are the days when babies are born. Who said that?
You can't show your bosom for 3 o'clock.
I think she was the originator of that. All right, we've got calls we can take a little bit later, about 5 minutes or so, 334-272-9228. David Blackman rejoining us for our ongoing tour of the never-ending American Idiocracy in just a bit.
Clogged drain? Overflowing septic? Don't panic. Call the experts who've been solving plumbing problems in the river region for more than 50 years. The Tierce family's local Roto-Rooter team specializes in fast drain cleaning, septic repair, and installation. One call and your troubles are on their way down the drain. That's 272-7130 or visit rotorooteralabama.com. Roto-Rooter, always here when you need us.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And lethal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Did you know Epicure and Jack's Tavern is also a butcher shop? Epicure and Jack's Tavern wet age premium cuts in-house and hand cut every steak themselves. That means you're eating the same quality beef restaurants brag about because they are the ones cutting it. From ribeyes to fillets, this is craftsmanship you can taste. Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where the butcher and the steakhouse live under one roof.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, serving veterans isn't a marketing slogan. It's personal. Every employee at Alabama Home Mortgage is either the child of a veteran or the spouse of one. We understand what it means to serve, to sacrifice, and to put others first. We're deeply thankful for the trust so many veterans have placed in us over the years, but we're not done yet because there are still far too many veterans who haven't taken advantage of the VA home loan benefits they've earned. Yes, parts of the VA system are broken, but the VA mortgage is not. It remains one of the strongest home financing options available, offering benefits like no down payment for purchases and 100% cash out refinance. You earned this benefit. From our military families to yours, thank you. It is our honor to serve you. Give us a call today at Alabama Home Mortgage, 334-567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Stephanie Bryan, chairwoman of the Porch Creek Indians. Tourism and hospitality are more than industries to the Porch Creek Indians. Providing a warm welcome is part of our heritage. It's central to who we are. From Atmore to Aruba, we've created more than 20 unique travel and tourism destinations, providing unforgettable guest experiences and life-changing career opportunities for our tribe and our neighbors in Alabama and beyond. Learn more at porchcreekindians.org.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. Your chances of encountering an evening storm tonight are small, but not zero. They will tend to fade out overnight with a low temperature in the middle 70s. Tomorrow, Friday, much the same. Sun and cloud mix, high in the middle 90s, triple-digit heat indices, and widely scattered to isolated storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. But the number of storms will increase dramatically over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, the rain chances are higher, just more storms to go around. They'll still be random, but some storms over the weekend could be quite strong with damaging wind gusts possible. Highs will back down to the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
time.
The Montgomery Skywatch Traffic Center. We have an accident. It's on Atlanta Highway at Bell Road right there at Wells Fargo Bank. Minor damage to the cars, but I always say it's minor if it's not your car. Interstates, they're looking good. Come by Thompson Tractor in Montgomery. Check out the incredible selection of used equipment at their used equipment sales center. See the machines that get the big jobs done. Thompson Tractor off I-85, just past Chantilly Parkway. I'm Jerry Howell for Montgomery Skywatch, filling in for Wendell J.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Before we check in with David Blackman, here is Dave Chappelle with his take on yesterday's Fauci
dealer for 7 years. I plead the fifth.
Sir, will you tell us about the cartels you dealt with in your time as a crack cocaine dealer?
No, but I can tell you that I plead the fifth.
Exactly how much money did you earn in your time as a crack cocaine dealer?
So many amendments in the Constitution of the United States of America. I can only choose one. Plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4. You say please? Go ahead and ask me a question. Did you?
And that's kind of the way it happened yesterday. As we welcome back David Blackman. Good to have you with us. By the way, the Yankees managed to eke out a 1-0 lead in the 10th inning and then promptly gave it up. Now they're playing in the 11th. And that's how they lost it yesterday. They lost it in extra innings. So I have full confidence they'll do it again today. If I become abruptly surly, you'll understand.
Yes.
We're going to talk all present. We have a call waiting. And by the way, you're welcome to join the conversation at 334-272-9228. This is Robert.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes. You're on.
You're on.
Oh, okay. I thought I got disconnected.
No.
Yeah, I just called back. Hey, yeah, I have a question. I was listening to Tuberville this morning.
Yes.
And, before I had to go into physical therapy, but I didn't get to listen to the whole thing. And I certainly like him better than what we have now. But it's you know, I was old Tea Party conservative. Used to go to rallies in 2008.
I was at all of those.
A lot has changed. You know. A lot has changed since then. I mean, that can we used to kick it around, you know, kicking the can down the road. Nobody even talks about it anymore. And then had a lot of disappointments, you know, Trump included. I was one of the first Trump supporters I knew. Of course, I'm not that big of a fan anymore.
Hey, in 2009, I thought Mike Pence was an electrifying conservative. And then he did go away. Well, please find a phone that has a better connection. But yeah, I think I mentioned that before, David, that I saw Mike Pence speak at the rally on September 9th, 2009 on Constitution Avenue, which easily had over 1 million people. And that's when I learned the truth about our media, because they ignored it.
Yeah. Race Bannon.
Across the board. Wasn't on the news, didn't make the front page of the papers. 1 million people. Now, if you'd had 60 people gathered for the right cause anywhere, that gets full coverage. But when it's conservatives demanding that our leadership follow the Constitution, that's not. We don't have time for that. That's that's too white for us, or too something. I'm not really sure how they look at it. Let's go to Iran for a moment. Interesting last 24 hours of the market yesterday, finishing down over 1,000 points. Today it regained about half of that. What's your latest take on the situation there and how it's going to impact energy prices?
Well, you know, the stock market just it's kind of as crazy as the oil markets. Although a lot of what's happening in the stock market is concerns about earnings of these chip making companies and the AI companies, and So there's a lot of volatility in the market over that. Whereas with oil markets, none of it makes any sense to me anymore. Trump, yesterday you had this big jump up in prices just because Iran hit a few targets the night before on Wednesday or Tuesday night. And then last night, Trump goes on the mother of all bombing campaigns, and Iran launches missiles at 5 different countries, including Egypt, for the first time. And oil prices have barely moved today. So
no sense.
So I don't think the oil markets are really real now. I think they're purely manipulated.
You touched that on that Monday, remember?
Yeah.
Because
yeah, they're not responding to signals like they normally do. And so somebody behind the scenes is doing something to dampen volatility, which is, that's for drivers who want lower gas prices, that's good. But for the long-term health and stability of the market, it's not good at all. Eventually, the manipulation is going to have to stop. And when it does, then we're going to have a big blowout one way or the other. And that's never good. So, but yeah, the stock market, there's concerns about the AI, whether it's a bubble or not. And I don't really think it is. I think we're in the early stages of one of the most incredible blowout booms in world history, frankly, where AI is concerned. But that's just me. So yeah, it's an interesting time to be following these markets, or trying to.
I ran a thread yesterday for the morning show with our interview with Senator Tuberville, and it's tough to ask every question somebody posts. I know that some local political activist got a hold of it, and they're there. How does he like living in Florida? All the usual crap. Why is he such a racist? And every person that made a comment like that, my reply was, send me authentication. Send me documentation that you are not, before you go calling him anything. I mean, just stop. Just stop with that. That's a simpleton's response to, and there's no evidence. There's no evidence of that. It's just more left-wing beazel schmeazel. But the one question that kept coming up time and time again, data centers. And I asked him about that, and he says, well, there are people who are, they don't want them in their area. He says, you got to understand the economic impact of these things. He says, I've got towns calling me in advance of becoming governor that are dying to get one of these set up in their area to reboost their economy. And others, what is your take on these things in general? Are they really environmentally damaging? Are they?
Well, if they're not done the right way, they can be, they can be damaging to local water supplies if they insist on using drinking water, local water supplies for the cooling their equipment. But most of them aren't doing that now. They're early on. That was the model some of the developers were trying to use, but they got so much pushback on it. They're going to other, just totally viable solutions. I interviewed one data center developer out in West Texas where there isn't any damn groundwater, and they've got a closed loop coolant system that doesn't even use water. They're going to use more water flushing toilets than they're going to use cooling their equipment.
Wow.
And it's and that's a system that's going to start becoming the state of the art in the data center industry. They do make noise, and so you have to mitigate for that. They occupy land, but not nearly as much as a solar farm does, or a wind farm, for crying out loud. Can occupy thousands of acres that are permanently damaged. Okay. You don't ever recover those acres of land that a wind farm's on, and you're probably not going to be able to ever reclaim the land that solar farms are on because of the damaging chemicals that leach into the soil from those things. So, they can be a problem if you don't manage them right. You have to insist your developers do the right thing, where all these concerns are concerned. And but what's happened with that industry is really starting about February of this year, January, February, China and these left-wing billionaires began pouring millions and millions of dollars into the same organizations that tried to kill the shale revolution and hydraulic fracturing 20 years ago. Same activist groups, same billionaires, same money coming in. You know, for fracking, it was the Russians and the Saudis that tried to kill it. Now it's China. And so early this year, all of a sudden, every time a data center was proposed anywhere near a community, these AstroTurf activists started getting bussed into these areas to do protests and protests at county meetings and school board meetings, et cetera, et cetera. And so when that happens to you, if you're not prepared as an industry to push back, and they weren't prepared, apparently there was no forewarning of it. Boy, they spent 3 months just getting, hammered in the media. And it's really harmed their ability to get these things cited in a lot of areas. Now, we're really having these AstroTurf protest movements here in Texas that have killed a couple of them. And, but, you know, eventually that's going to get defeated because the messaging is so false. And same thing with fracking. It took us 5 years in our industry to get our act together and push back the right way. And so
yeah, wasn't that going to break loose the crust of the earth and go floating off into space? And
so much crap.
Yep.
There was so many things we had to respond to, and we were totally unprepared, just like the data center people.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's, you know, I see it now kind of calming down and getting into a real debate over facts. And a lot of communities like the ones you're talking about, that Senator Tuberville were talking about, really want these things there because they're an enormous economic boost.
Yes.
Jobs and, you know, all sorts of economic activity. And
I think it's part of his plan to eliminate the state income tax and maybe lower taxes. He's going to be looking for those kinds of opportunities when he's elected
Louisiana
governor.
was able to give its school teachers a 20% raise thanks to money collected from the data center industry this year.
Wow.
And they're not even one of the leading states in that industry.
We have a phone call.
Robert from Florida has a better reception.
All right, Robert, let's get to the question.
Yeah, I'm glad you got into the data centers, and I appreciate what you guys were saying about the water and the closed loop system stuff. I have a home in Lowndes County, and I just passed, like 5 different pieces of property with signs out there that, against the data centers, and that's definitely grassroots.
Yep, some of it is, yeah.
My question is, I have not seen a legitimate, answer of why we need them. What they're here for? Faster internet? Or AI? But I don't really. Unless you're going into a digital currency or mass surveillance or control, which we're not Chinese.
Hopefully.
But I don't understand.
That's going to depend on what party's in power.
That's the scary part.
Exactly.
So, we've had data centers getting built in this country for 40, 50 years now. They power everything.
Not at
they
this
power
rate.
your cell phone. They power your television reception. They power your internet, cable television, any kind of modern gadget. There's a data center behind it somewhere. And yeah, AI is the big data hog. It requires faster and faster computing power to do what it does faster and faster. And so that's the real driving force. And whether that's good or not, I can't say. Okay, I don't know the answer to that because I don't know enough about it. But that's really what's driving it all. And you have every company now in the world, not just in America, but really on Earth, adopting AI into its business practices in any number of different ways, trying to improve their own processes and profitability inside these companies. And so that just creates more constantly increasing demand that requires an ever growing suite of computing power in this country. And I don't know where it all ends. I'm as against a digital currency and social credit scores as anybody.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm just trying to comment on how these things are being developed and what the right way to do it and what the wrong way is. And it's pretty clear now, I think, what the right way is, and most companies are going to start doing it. But
Hope so.
yeah, they got to do a much better job in that industry of describing why all of these are needed, because you're not the only person that's asked me that question. I just don't know the answer.
All right, Robert, thank you for the call. We appreciate it. 272-9228. We can take a couple of more between now and 5 o'clock. News Talk 93.1 FM. Let's revisit, now that we know that Senator Tuberville was living next door to Mitch, and quote, and we will replay the interview later, probably 5:25-ish or so. Then Terry's going to complete the show for me today. Who's going to replace Lindsey Graham? And
yeah.
I see the name Ralph Norman, but I don't know anything about him. Who would be a better replacement, his sister or this guy?
Well, I think Ralph Norman would be the best replacement. Ralph Norman is a real conservative, member of Congress, South Carolina, really, really strong voting record. Good committee work. He sponsored a lot of really good legislation. I think he would be far and away the best choice, but of course I'm not in South Carolina. I mean, I have nothing against Lindsey Graham's sister. I'm sure she's a fine person. I just don't know really if she's the strongest person to become a United States senator from South Carolina. She just doesn't have that experience. I know that the former governor who, what's his name, Mark Sanford, who was having an affair down in Argentina somewhere, and he was hiking the Appalachian Trail and ended up getting run out of office. He's one of the candidates.
Whoops.
And there's another member of Congress that I'm not familiar with that's in that race but isn't doing well. It's really between Graham's sister and Ralph Norman, and I'd love to see Representative Norman win that. I think he'd be really good, a really solid Republican and not some damn rhino.
Yeah. I want to thank you for ringing the memory button with Mark Sanford. I'd forgotten all about that guy. I mean, that was a story
that making this run.
We had bits and everything going on there for a couple of months.
And wow, at least the blessing though is that Trey Gowdy is not running for it. So thank God.
Remember earlier this hour, I think it was when we were talking to our caller, we were talking about people who have let us down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm still very glad Donald Trump is president. There are things that I wish had been done differently. Certainly, the clouds that develop over Iran and everything else can obscure some of the real achievements he's gotten. And good stuff. The Trump accounts and so forth seem to be super popular and all that. But I was reminded of people we perceived as real, hardcore activist conservatives. And Trey Gowdy was one of those people back in the late aughts, early part of the last decade, as JFK would say. And now my perception of them, Jeff Sessions was one too.
Oh, yeah.
They could not shake their deep state connections.
Nope.
Yeah,
when it came down to it,
biggest blowhard.
And maybe the most hideous hairstyle I've ever seen.
On a grown man. Why is a grown man doing that? I mean, the guy's 50 years old and still wearing that pinhead haircut. It's crazy.
Pinhead.
So
not
we
that
still
I have any room to complain about anyone else's hair, though. So
fine hair, David. Fine hair, David. And if it wasn't, I'm sure you'd be wearing a cowboy hat or something to hide it. You need to do that. Still no real proof, unless you want to take Scott Jennings' word for it. When you listen to the interview with Senator Tubble, I asked him straight out, tell us, have you seen any actual, I live next door to him. But I haven't seen him for 4 months, and I kind of chuckled at that.
Wow.
Because I usually bump into my neighbors a little more frequently than once every 4 months.
I would hope so.
So, and he could not offer a mutual witness to verify this. So let's take this to the limit here, as the Eagles would say. Suppose he is deceased and they're just concealing it until August 3rd. What happens if that comes out that he actually has been deceased and they hid this? That's a crime, isn't it?
Should be.
Oh, I don't know the answer to that, actually. I mean, I guess there could be something in the law. If John Thune is known, let's say Mitch has been dead for 6 weeks, that he died that day he got hauled off to the hospital. And John Thune knew it that day, or has found out in the intervening weeks and said nothing. I suppose there could be, I don't know that there would be any criminal ramification to it. Certainly there'd be blowback on his reputation. And Scott Jennings, of course, would be completely ruined. I think he really did a lot of harm to himself by making that claim. But so, you know, I don't know, and I don't really understand what the motivation August 3rd is for the Republicans. I can certainly see what it is for the Democrats, because if McConnell dies before August 3rd, or we find out he's been dead before August 3rd, then Governor Beshear has to call a special election to replace him. And Governor Beshear in Kentucky is a Democrat. But if that happens after August 3rd, my understanding of the law in Kentucky is that in that case, Governor Beshear gets to appoint someone to fill the seat until the general election in November. And there would have to be an election in November. Oh, wait. Mitch isn't up. Yeah, Mitch's term ends this year.
Yeah.
And they already have nominees. So for that race, there's a Republican and Democrat for that race that are running, that are nominated. But Beshear would be able to appoint the person to serve out the rest of McConnell's term in that instance. So what I can't figure out is why the Republicans would be faking this until after August 3rd. It doesn't make any logical sense unless you just assume all the Republicans are really Democrats and want the Democrats to have that seat for a few months. Which I can't really believe. I certainly don't think that of Coach Tuberville. It's just a weird situation that all that has to happen to prove he's alive is for his wife to take out her iPhone and point it at him, get him dressed up so he looks okay, and point it at him, and and have a conversation with him, and then release that out on X or whatever to prove he's alive. I mean, that's all that has to happen. This isn't hard. And it's been 7 weeks now. And people keep asking and no one wants to answer, and no one in the media. The other thing that makes this all so suspicious to me is not a single person at any media outlet, a reporter wanting to make a name for themselves, has apparently made the slightest effort to find out what the real truth is. And that
isn't that
tells me
interesting?
A lot.
Yeah.
That's if you're a conspiracy theorist like I am, I think that's a really good conspiracy theory.
Among other garden variety items of business, are they playing games with Todd Blanche's nomination for the Justice Department?
Yeah, those 3 toddler senators who are all also out as of January.
Yeah, Tillis.
Tillis, Cornyn, and Cassidy, the 3 worst people in the world at the moment.
Do they not understand that they're losing their jobs because their voters were disappointed with them? Yeah. Do they not get that?
Proving the voters' point, isn't it?
It really is. And why be remembered like that? Why not do something good on the way out? Why not be part of the SAVE Act and confirm Trump's appointment? It's just beyond comprehension that they can be.
There's two options there. One is they're petulant children throwing a fit. The other is they're owned and being forced to behave this way.
Bingo.
That's
bingo.
Okay. Oh, crap. The Yankees lost 2-1.
What are the chances?
Well, of course they did. But there's only like 2 games out of first. Get Judge back, it all changes.
You're right. I'm not
Get
going to
him
be
back
petulant. I'm not going to act like a child.
No.
I'm not going to take my toys and go home. I'm going to be an adult.
And
I
you're
hate
not
it,
even
but I'm going to
losing
be an
your
adult.
job.
4:35, so we'll take our second break and have one more long segment left with David Blackman covering the never-ending American Idiocracy. You'll have a much better grip. You'll be better informed when you know what you know, and you can get more information and knowledge from David Blackman's blog than just about any other source. Plus, it's very entertainingly written and often comes with hilarious audio clips and pictures like the one with Mitch McConnell as Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. That was too funny. And his wife made a very respectable Donna Douglas in that photo image as well.
Yeah, I mean, once you see that, you can't unsee it.
Subscribe at davidblackman.substack.com. You want to get a call in 272-9228 here in the 334. We'll be back with David in just a minute. First traffic, then 1819 News next.
In the Montgomery Skywatch Traffic Center, they're still working that accident on Atlanta Highway at Bell Road. Hopefully get that out of the way in the next few minutes. Also, 85 southbound around the 23-mile marker right before you get to the shorter exit. We have an accident there that's slowing things down. Get $3,000 customer cash on a new Toyota Tundra, plus the lowest tax rates in Alabama. Where? At McKinnon Toyota. It's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212. They're off I-65 in Clinton. I'm Jerry Howell for Montgomery Skywatch, filling in for Wendell J.
News is brought to you by Adams Motorsports of Montgomery, where your pleasure is their business.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Katie Britt has crossed the aisle in the U.S. Senate to work on a bipartisan bill with Democrat Senator Jeanne Shaheen. This will continue the sanctions against Russia that the late Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina was working on just before his death. Britt and Sheehan were on Fox News to talk about the Sanctioning Russia and Iran Act of 2026.
We talk about peace through strength all the time. To me, this is the definition of that. You talked with Senator Shaheen about Senator Lindsey Graham. He has been talking about this for a year and a half, nonstop, working with Senator Blumenthal, people like Senator Shaheen, Senator Wicker, and others, building the coalition that was needed, getting the language exactly right, where you have Senate Democrats and Republicans and you have the White House on the same page, knowing we want the killing to end, we want there to be peace, we think Putin's war machine has to be held accountable, and we know that this is the way to do it. So I appreciate President Trump's leadership, and I look forward to giving him the tools he needs to bring resolution in this war.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Covenant Rescue Group seeks to directly support organizations and agencies that are fighting the global battle against human trafficking. They do this through funding, procuring, and advocating. You can go to covenantrescue.org for further details. They need your donations, guys. Hop on and donate.
A Florida woman being sought by police for kidnapping was captured in the city of Dothan this past Wednesday. 38-year-old Janae Burns is accused of kidnapping a 10-year-old girl from the Orlando area. The vehicle that Burns was driving was picked up by a license plate reader. That's when U.S. Marshals initiated a fugitive task force operation to arrest Burns. The child was found in Burns' custody and will be returned to her family in Florida. I'm Andrea Tuck.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
AdamsMotorsports.com on the web or Adams Motorsports on the Boulevard in Montgomery. That's at Adams Motorsports in Montgomery, where your pleasure is our business. Come by and learn more about the new Suzuki GSX 8R motorcycle and see for yourself the bar has officially been reset.
Pizza Perfect is carrying over the $10 buffet for July. They also have the perfect deal to feed your family tonight. Order Order any large pizza and get an order of boneless wings free. Pizza Perfect is known for their all-you-can-eat buffet, including pizza, spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink, and it's only $10 in July. Available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Buy any large pizza, get an order of boneless wings on the house at Pizza Perfect, Coliseum Boulevard, Eastbrook, pickup and delivery.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Well, hi, everybody. Your chances of encountering an evening storm tonight are small, but not zero. They will tend to fade out overnight with a low temperature in the middle 70s. Tomorrow, Friday, much the same. Sun and cloud mix, high in the middle 90s, triple-digit heat indices, and widely scattered to isolated storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. But the number of storms will increase dramatically over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, the rain chances are higher, just more storms to go around. They'll still be random, but some storms over the weekend could be quite strong with damaging wind gusts possible. Highs will back down to the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome to the world of Idiocracy with Greg Pamela and experts, especially David Blackman, talking about all the latest mess. Get it off your chest and tune to the best. The tales of Idiocracy. The tales of Idiocracy. The tales of Idiocracy. It's the tales of Idiocracy.
And welcome, playing the role of Pamela Dubuque today is the one and only Terry Adams.
Yes.
And David Blackman joining us from Texas this afternoon. And David, I'd like to go back to your blog for a second. I would like to play the Fetterman clip, if that's okay.
Oh, great.
I've got to put the nasty button down, the echo button down, so the listeners that are watching on YouTube can see it. It's a short clip.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
You know what I heard there? A lot of tap dancing. And a guy who seems very conflicted right now.
Yeah.
We know he's taking enormous heat because the Democrats hate him because he's not goose-stepping to and he's having the audacity to think independently from them.
Can't have that.
But he was the only one that said anything critical.
He was the only one, yeah. I mean, he was
My
the only
favorite
one
moment.
that had apparently read any of the diary at all.
My favorite moment was I don't remember who it was on the committee, produced a voluminous stack of studies, 70 or 80 studies, confirming the effectiveness of ivermectin.
Mm-hmm.
legitimate medical studies, something that Fauci absolutely dismissed. And even to this day, you bring it up. That's horse medicine. Well, it is not. I know somebody
it's a
who would come
miracle
on.
drug. Actually,
Yeah.
it's one of the great miracle drugs. It's won a Nobel Prize 20, 30 years ago, and it's effective on all manner of different diseases. It's even been used in some cases to help cure tumors, cancerous tumors, and it's just an amazing drug that is cheap. And so, the drug companies knew they weren't going to make billions of dollars selling ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, another.
I remember when Trump took that,
long-used-
and
yeah,
and they went nuts.
So, they wanted to be able to come up with new drugs to sell to cure COVID, none of which had any real good effect. And Fauci, of course, was in a position where in that NIAIH that he ran, those people over there are able to get cuts of drugs that they help test and approve. And so Fauci, that's how Fauci got rich, was helping the drug companies come up with new drugs that really are no more effective than old drugs, but for which they get to charge $60 a pill instead of 60 cents. And that's what went on during COVID.
I'm seeing a headline: Tallarico running for Senate in your home state of Texas, David, using a rental car to appeal to the cowboy class. Is that what
Oh
his
yeah,
latest?
that's that big him driving that big pickup truck that he doesn't own. Yeah, yeah, that he was driving a big Dodge Ram in that commercial. And he looks
looks like-
ridiculous in it. But
It looks like the little man in a wedding cake.
yeah, they couldn't have him driving his little Chevy Colorado mini truck that he
No.
really drives. And so yeah, they had to put him in that Ram.
See, this is why we do the show, because it just never ends, friends. Fetterman says he will never be a Republican. You're buying that?
No, I don't believe that at all. I mean, I think he has to say that right now. And most of what he said there is true. His voting record is that of a standard issue Democrat, but he is broken completely away from the party on border control, on Iran, on the October 7th Israel-Palestinian war. The Democratic Party's become a completely anti-Semitic party, and he's not on board with that. And so on some very big issues, he has gone against the party. And so he's going to come into next year. He's going to get to next January, and he's going to have to decide whether he wants a second term as a senator or not. If he doesn't care about it, then he'll remain a Democrat and either not run or get beat in a primary, because they'll primary him. But if he does want to win a second term, he'll switch parties. It's as simple as that. I mean, some people are saying, well, he could just go independent. And well, how did that work out for Kristen Sinema? No, I mean, that's just another path to losing.
She looks like she's in trouble in Arizona.
Well, she got beat. I mean, she's out.
Who's the governor? Katie Hobbs. I'm thinking of Katie Hobbs.
Oh, Katie Hobbs is in deep trouble, yes, because most of the voter fraud mechanisms that they've used to steal the last few elections over there have been done away with now.
Yep.
And so, the Democrats are no longer going to own that state. They can't win a fair election in Arizona, in Maricopa County. So it's over for that idiot.
That's
She's
a complete fraud.
The idiocracy wouldn't be complete if our sports department didn't get to the Seattle Storm, but we have a call at 272-9228. Billy.
on that. Billy?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah.
You're on.
Yes, sir. Greg,
Yes.
I got a question for you and the gentleman. On the Iran war, I haven't heard it, but I know y'all may know. Are we killing any of their soldiers on these bombing missions? Because what's your take on? I mean, percentage we're killing their IGRs, their human beings on the ground.
Oh, sure. Yes. I mean, thousands. Yeah. I
But
mean,
that-
there's a big death toll, but the Iranians don't care about that.
No.
But what I'm saying, you don't have a number on the soldiers we have killed.
No,
I haven't
you
seen
can't-
one. No,
No,
it's
you
hard to
can't get any
estimate.
reliable information out of Iran.
No.
Yeah. You don't see us going on the ground ever in this campaign, do you?
Other than to take Karg Island and to seize the area around the Strait of Hormuz, no.
Oh,
But I
okay.
mean, if
That's
you're
gonna be-
really going to end this thing, you're going to have to do both of those to actually control things.
Yeah, and then annihilate them while you're there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know a percentage of the foot soldiers we had killed. They're not going to tell us anyway, are they? Not even our people. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. David.
We appreciate your call.
Thanks, Billy.
So let's cover the Seattle Storm and the controversy out there, David. You know, I got to give the WNBA credit for one thing. They get a ton of publicity, and for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know that there's one more additional person watching their games now than there was a year ago, but everybody talks about them. And
Yeah,
what happened in this latest episode of the women's basketball?
well, for once, it doesn't revolve around Caitlin Clark, although her team is
Yay.
involved. You know, every other big story about the league in the last 3 years has revolved around Caitlin Clark. This one revolves around Sophie Cunningham, her teammate, who is a blonde-headed girl.
How do you like my
who-
Sophie
Yeah,
impersonation?
who had the famous finger pointing thing that just went incredibly viral for
Yes.
weeks. She, week before last, said, something very sensible, that girls' sports should be for girls and they shouldn't have to compete against biological men and share locker rooms with people with penises. And
Yes.
and so just something that would have been perfectly normal thing to say 10 years ago in our country or anywhere else on earth, but has suddenly become this national insanity. At the game, the Indiana Fever, which is Sophie Cunningham's team and Caitlin Clark's team, went to Seattle to play the Seattle Storm, which is far and away the worst team in the worst professional league of any kind on the face of the earth, the Seattle Storm, who plays, all you really need to know about this team is it plays in a building called Climate Pledge Arena.
What?
Oh, God.
I swear to
Climate
God.
Pledge
it is
Arena.
named
Oh, my God.
Climate Pledge Arena is where they play.
Oh, boy.
This is Seattle, Washington. Anyway, so, of course, Indiana routs them, but, into the game, no doubt helped along and recruited by the ownership of the team, which is a bunch of radical activists themselves.
Yeah.
In comes a bunch of trans activists who tend to just normally be violent. I mean, the whole movement's an incredibly violent movement, as we've seen the hard way. And so they spend their time screaming and cussing at Sophie. And there were two teenage girls sitting on the front row who had a sign that said, "Thank you, Sophie, for speaking up for girls." It's what the sign said. It's all it said.
Yeah.
And there was a group of trans activists behind them that berated them and assaulted them throughout the game. Security did nothing to correct
Wow.
the situation. As the girls were leaving, one of the owners of the team, the Seattle Storm team, comes up to them, and they were with their parents, and they were expecting the owner to come up and apologize for how they were treated. And instead, one of 6 owners of the team,
Yeah.
co-owner of the team, berated them and called them crazy and cussed them, and then walked away. And so that, of course, became a major story. Yesterday, the league actually did the right thing for maybe the first time I've seen the WNBA leadership do anything right. And they suspended this owner for 5 games and fined her an undisclosed amount and forced the team to issue an apology for her behavior.
Good.
So, that's not much. They really ought to force her to sell her interest in the team and ban her from ever attending another game. If it was a league with any integrity, but this is the WNBA. It's a garbage league run by garbage people. And so that's what they've done. And I just think, now there's rumors floating around that Caitlin Clark has been talking with teams in the Italian professional league about going over there, which is what she really needs to do, because ultimately she's going to be severely hurt continuing to play in this league. They don't like her. They don't want her there, even though she's their golden goose. But she is straight and she's white, and she's by far and away the best player the league has ever had. And so everyone's jealous of her and hates her.
Yeah, and targeted, physically targeted. One of these days they're going to make the right move on her, and they're going to cripple the woman.
Yeah, and I think Sophie Cunningham needs to go with her for her own protection.
I agree.
I would agree. And she's become something of a sex symbol now, too, which is kind of cool.
Well, yeah, she was in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit thing. And yeah, I mean, she's a very beautiful young lady, 29 years old, I think, 28, 29. She's been in the league for a while. And a really good player in her own right, it's a terrible situation. It's just the dumbest thing, the most self-destructive thing I've ever seen any professional sports league do. You've got the equivalent of the woman's Michael Jordan, filling arenas for the first time your league has ever filled arenas.
Yes.
Selling between Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham jersey sales between them is 71% of all WNBA jersey sales.
Wow.
And that ain't going to be making Angel McReese happy.
Oh no, she's not happy about any of it. And I don't really have anything against her. She's doing what she needs to do.
She's a thug.
Well, and she's not she's a really good rebounder, but not much else. She isn't really good at the game other than rebounding, but boy, she's really good on the boards.
Well, Caitlin going to an Italian basketball league, and many NBA players have taken that route too, to get either reestablished or a second chance at the actual NBA.
Yeah.
We also apparently, Terry, have a developing idiocracy in Spain. Another massive What is wrong with Spain? They just won the World Cup, and they're celebrating by letting. This is inevitably going to end really bad for them.
Well, it's something American voters need to take as an object lesson, because Spain elected a socialist government. This guy that's their president is a 30-something-year-old lunatic, just a complete lunatic, who has declared complete amnesty for illegal immigrants. And so what does Morocco do? Well, Morocco has emptied its prisons and its lunatic asylums and sending them all into Spain.
Of course.
And thousands, I mean, just in the last few days, landing on the shores and flooding into the country. And they're going to be given legal status in Spain, which means once they have legal status in Spain, they'll be able to move freely all over the European continent. And when you look at the films of them coming in, it's just like what we saw under Biden at our southern border. 90% of the people coming in are military-aged young males. They're not women and children.
We had the ultimate template for what's going on there in Miami in 1980 when that imbecile Jimmy Carter accepted the group known as the Mariel refugees.
Yep.
These were not Cubans. How many thousands of Cubans are at the bottom of the Florida Straits dead because the cobbled raft that they put together to get away from that, as JFK called it, imprisoned island, failed?
Yeah.
But these were not asylum seekers. This was Fidel Castro emptying his prisons, his mental facilities, whatever. Anybody he didn't want, Jimmy Carter said, come on down. And the devastating impacts in South Florida took years and years and years to overcome, including, damn near a civil war culturally, because as soon as they arrived, they demanded that we learn how to speak Spanish, which a lot of us did not appreciate.
No.
The crime went through the roof, the smuggling, the drugs. It gave birth to Miami Vice and so many other things that were based on real life situations in Miami. And it's not going to end well.
No, it never does.
On the other hand, I recently saw a video of a Cuban who was able to get off the island and get to America, who there was no translation, but passionately pointing to Mamdani and the danger of his thinking. He says, I lived with this. This is bad.
Yep.
And we need to have more of them pointing that out. And
yep,
a big weekend. In fact, I would be remiss. I really want to post that WNBA owners picture. What a delightful looking group. Because I was always in the assumption that women were supposed to turn us on. I know that's very naive.
They're broads.
That group is very broad.
Yeah.
Okay, baseball trades today as we close in on the deadline. The Orioles picked up Jake Rogers from the Tigers. Okay, that's not that exciting.
I don't know who that is.
Me either.
And that's it. Just a lot of Bubba Mice. What do you think the Dodgers are going to end up with Tarek Skubal?
I don't know.
They can get him.
I don't know. They're about to get Blake Snell back, and apparently they're getting good news about Tyler Glasnow. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't know if they're going to be willing to trade off what they're going to need to trade to get Skubal. You know, you really got to decimate your farm system. You might want to do it just to keep him away from the Brewers, though. I would say that.
Yeah, that would be. I think that's a very perspicacious point because the Brewers do have. They would be a very challenge. Last year they rolled over. They lost 4 games to LA.
Yeah,
it's different, a little bit of a different team this year.
But they're a much better team this year.
And here's another reason to look forward to. You will be with us Monday, right?
Yes, sir.
The trade deadline ends at 4:00 while we're on the air.
I know. Yeah.
So we may reverse on Monday. Yeah, at least at the start to see who gets who. But David, thank you for your time. Have a great weekend. And again, subscribe to David at davidblackman.substack.com. It's an investment that pays off every single day. Thank you.
See you Monday.
All righty. Oh.
What?
I forgot to bring up your point about refineries.
It's okay. I'll do some more reading on it.
No, he actually did a rather in-depth explanation on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have enough refineries here. We haven't built one in 40 years.
Why? That's crazy.
Democrats. Oh, we were going to go all electric. Well, you still need.
I'm sorry, the
an energy source.
Everything's based around petroleum.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be that way for a long, long time.
Yes. I mean, if we're going to start over, let's go hydrogen. It's cleaner, it's better.
You're not going to tell me that Tallarico is ahead in Texas?
If so,
that
it's a
can't
lie.
be.
It's a lie.
Fox does that. Fox's polling is never really reliable. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Brad McDonald, unable to join us today. He is with Waverly Advisors. He's been really busy as the companies bring their resources together for the benefit of their customers. So what we'll do, we will open the hour with our Tuberville interview from this morning after we get through traffic and news and Rich's forecast, and then you will sail on home from there. All righty, that's coming up next. 5:02, Jerry Howell, watching the road. Wall Street Business next.
In the Montgomery Skywatch Traffic Center, here they come out of the downtown area onto Arbor, then to 85 North. We'll start seeing slowdowns right around Ann Street, also Perry Hill, 65 northbound at the North Boulevard. Same song and dance. But accident-wise, we're doing okay. Imagine graduating high school with your college degree already in hand. That's the power of early college at Trenton State Community College. Go to trentumstate.edu, get all the information. I'm Jerry Howell for Montgomery Skywatch, filling in for Wendell J.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. The White House is encouraging veterans who drove large military vehicles to consider a career in trucking. The president says he's been tightening the rules against the illegals behind the wheel of many big rigs, something he says has put American truck drivers out of work and made the roads less safe.
They don't speak English. They cannot read basic road signs. In many cases, they've engaged in reckless driving that has caused.
And the U.S. economy showing clear signs of resilience in the second quarter.
The Commerce Department reported that gross domestic product expanded at a 1.5% annual pace from April through June, a deceleration from the 2.1% rate in the first quarter of 2026. The figure also came in below what many economists expected. Imports were a major drag on growth, reflecting heavier demand for goods sourced from abroad.
That is correspondent Bernie Bennett. At the close on Wall Street, the Dow was up by 613 points, the NASDAQ up by 679. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet Arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
A great lawn doesn't happen by accident. It takes a pro. That's where Turf by Pest Pro comes in. We handle the weeds, feed your grass, and take care of fire ants so your lawn stays healthy, strong, and looking its best, which means your yard is ready for cookouts, playtime, and making memories all season long. Get started today. Call 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. That's 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. When you want to grow, call a pro. Turf by Pest Pro.
This is not headline news. It's National Chili Dog Day. Nobody tell John Mellencamp it was on this day he got kicked out of a Tasty Freeze for lewd behavior. Personal items belonging to KFC founder Colonel Sanders went up for auction. And if you purchase 3 of his pieces, you also get mashed potatoes and a biscuit. Disneyland is ending its Tinkerbell meet and greet. A huge disappointment to thousands of children's dads. And a Days of Thunder sequel is in the works. Tom Cruise will play an aging race car driver who mentors a cocky rookie. It'll be called F12. This is not headline news.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says he may withdraw and delay Todd Blanche's nomination as Attorney General until Republican senators who are seeking concessions from the top prosecutor leave office. Trump doubled down Thursday on choosing his former personal lawyer as the nation's top lawman, calling him a star and saying he will keep him in the role as acting Attorney General until Republican Senators John Cornyn of Texas and Tom Tillis of North Carolina leave office next year. The United States and Iran each fired a barrage of missiles as the pattern of back-and-forth strikes took hold again and hope dimmed for a quick end to the 5-month conflict. Following a few days of respite, fears of a wider war have grown. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 613 points, the S&P up by 121. This is SRN News.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at two different options, debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-936-5496.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
What does it mean for a nation to be successful? I'm Stephanie Bryan, Tribal Chair and CEO of the Porch Creek Indians. We believe a successful nation gives back. As we've built economic opportunity and prosperity, the Porch Creek Indians have been able to give back to our neighbors in Alabama and beyond. More than $37 million since 2021 alone. From education and health care to tornado relief, learn more about our charitable giving at porchcreekindians.org.
All right, welcome back. Greg Goodell and Terry Adams. And what we have coming up here, first of all, Brant McDonald unable to join us this afternoon, but the short take is there was a massive loss yesterday, about 1,200 points. And today there was a huge bounce back of almost half that number. So nothing to sweat there. And, the market's shown its ability to get volatile. Keep in mind that 3 months ago, at the outset of the conflict in Iran, the market went all the way down below 46,000. I mean, the Dow, that's the index that most people are familiar with. 46,000. It is now 6,000 points back from that low of 2026 and seems headed in the right direction. David explained, while some of it's mysterious to him, that we should expect gas prices to trickle down, or at least be stable for a period of time. Really not sure why, which I find very interesting. And this morning, we had a chance to ask questions, many of which were posed by you on my Facebook thread yesterday of Senator Tommy Tuberville and everything from data centers to some of the things he'd like to accomplish here as governor. And that interview is going to play in its entirety right after Rich's forecast, which is next at 5:11.
Rich Thomas weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Now open from 6 to 5. Foggy or drafty windows? Alabama Wholesale Lumber's got energy-efficient replacements that'll save you money. Call their millwork pros today at Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Everybody, your chances of encountering an evening storm tonight are small, but not zero. They will tend to fade out overnight with a low temperature in the middle 70s. Tomorrow, Friday, much the same. Sun and cloud mix, high in the middle 90s, triple-digit heat indices, and widely scattered to isolated storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. But the number of storms will increase dramatically over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, the rain chances are higher, just more storms to go around. They'll still be random, but some storms over the weekend could be quite strong with damaging wind gusts possible. Highs will back down to the lower 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Coming up, Senator Tommy Tuberville. It's 5:12.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Senator Tuberville, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Greg. Welcome back. I heard you had a little health problem. We're glad you're back with us.
Yes, sir. That was 2 weeks ago today. Doing much better. Thank you for asking. And we have some gratitude for your office from Rich Thomas.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody in your office for taking care of me when on my trip to Washington last week, especially Caleb, who was setting us up at the Capitol for tours and getting us in the Senate and the House galleries. So thank you to a great staff in your office.
Yeah,
awesome. Thanks.
Handle the whole gang.
We got a lot of problems. But we still got a beautiful up here that's got a lot of history, and we're glad you were able to come up and partake in a little of it.
Well, absolutely. You may be surprised to know this, but both myself, Rich Thomas, we're big history buffs. So we embrace the importance of all that, and it's looking a lot better in D.C. too, in terms of the cleanup. Fountains and things actually work now. When I was there for the Tea Party in 2009 and 10, I was really embarrassed at the condition of all the buildings along Constitution Avenue, and it's a lot brighter there these days. So yesterday, the big entertainment spectacular, we're covering it here in real time on the show, the Fauci hearing, and I understand that you are part of an effort to reform CDC and NIH and agencies. What's going on with that?
Well, when I saw what was going on back then, I was on the health committee, and Rand Paul and I would team up together to ask questions and come up with things that we wanted to go after Fauci on. Back then, we thought it was something that that Fauci was trying to help us on. We didn't realize he was trying to hurt the country. We lost 9 million people, Greg. And I want to ask this question. 9 million people, why have we not got a congressional committee together and go after the origins of this? What happened? Something's being hidden here. I don't know what is. President Trump tried to put one together. The Democrats don't want one. And it's obvious that they had some kind of hand in the pie here. But, Fauci's he's a weasel. He's a guy that we eventually found out to be telling zero truth in what he was doing. Gain of function, he was funding it. He was funding the Wuhan lab. Now, whether it was released on purpose or not, that will one day probably come out. But we know he was at the bottom of this and lied to the American people, shut our country down, almost bankrupt us, lied about ivermectin and some of the drugs we should have been using. So yesterday was all entertainment. Nothing will come out of it. But at the end of the day, we all know that this guy was a weasel that was behind a lot of this.
We played a clip from Senator Ted Cruz this morning calling for prison for this man. I'm wondering, you talk numbers relative to COVID, the damage done by this guy because of the trust that was placed in him, the power he had, which was far too great. And I remember some of the calls we got because we worked an extra day every week when COVID first happened. And the river region, and this don't laugh at this, but it touched my heart. We had a guy who put his life savings into opening up a miniature golf course in Wetumpka. It had just opened right around the time this all came down, and it was only like less than 3 months. He had to shut it down, lost his dream. And there are so many thousands of other stories like that. Do you ever foresee a fund that will help compensate from people who lost because of Fauci's reckless advice, bad advice?
There should be something out there like that. It would be hard to tax the people that didn't have anything to do with it, taxpayers. But there was billions of dollars made from these drug companies, all this off this vaccine, by the way, that they used us as a guinea pig for. And who knows? That could have something to do with your problem, Lindsey Graham's problem, the problems that are coming that we will face in the future. It's just unfortunate that they sold us a dream and not a cure. But at the end of the day, Greg, as you said, they destroyed our economy. They destroyed our education.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is the template for what the Democrats want to do to America. They want to bring America to its knees and change it to a communist country. That is what they're trying to do, folks. Wake up and smell the roses. Yeah. It is dangerous what is going on in our country.
They are the American Les Miserables, sir. And They can't find a way to be happy, so they want to bring, because socialism, communism, ever see a picture of a happy communist from the 50s, 60s, or any other time? They're always mad, angry, and happy people. Sir, can you give us an update? We just saw Thune on TV, and you spoke up against the recess until this thing gets done. So please sort through all the debris field here and tell us where the Save America Act stands and what's its chances of getting passed are.
Well, zero chance. The direction we're headed, because John Thune, he was I didn't vote for the guy because I knew he'd never been a leader in anything before. So we gave him the reins of a lot of power in the United States Senate. And when you take those reins, you don't want just to be leader; you got to lead. And he's trying to be popular amongst the group so he can get reelected again. If I'm not coming back, but if I came back, I definitely would not even come close to voting for him again. But he has got to hold people accountable. When you got 49 people in our Senate and you got 80% of the people across the country, almost 90% Republicans that want this passed, that want a fair election.
Yeah.
And he won't say, okay, you four that's voting against it, all your committees you're on, you're going to the bottom. You're not having any more power unless you vote for it. You've got to do something. We can't continue to butt our head against the wall. President Trump is just screaming at Thune, do something, use your power. But they don't want to do that up here. They want to make friends, and they want to keep their little social groups together. It's a shame, and that's one of the reasons I'm leaving. One reason I'm leaving, I think I can do more help and give more help to Alabama from the governor's seat. But staying up here, it's just something that's just not going to happen when you got people that have no leadership skills whatsoever.
Well, I'm going to say it is not a big leap from Thune's behavior to Anthony Fauci's, because he's doing what he wants to do and not what the public, and that includes a Democrat majority that want voter ID, and yet they can't bring themselves to do it. It's just disgusting. Whenever you're joining us on the air, Senator, I always put a post up on Facebook seeking questions from listeners. And, of course, this immediately makes the rounds at your local Communist Party headquarters, and they're asking all the usual stupid stuff. But in the midst, after I separate the wheat from the chaff, I always find a consensus concern. And if you could shed some light, the one issue that kept coming up over and over and over again were the data centers. And honestly, I don't know what to think about this. One suggestion was that we have, as you well know, you're going to be living here, we have a lot of abandoned property. Why not put some of these data centers in places like the old Montgomery Mall or other large areas where there's plenty of room to build and the jobs would be in the city? Give us your take on that and any concerns you have with them.
First of all, I bring up data centers because it's a huge tax revenue base, for our entire state. We have 67 counties. I've had some mayors call me and say, Coach, we voted against data centers in our counties. I said, fine. We got 67 counties, and we'll go other places. Hey, thanks for making that decision. You got to have leadership. But I've had a lot more of them call me, Coach, please don't forget us on data centers. Folks, you got one going in right across from Hyundai there in Montgomery called Meta, and is tens of billions of dollars that has been spent over there, and it is not going to use any more power. It's not going to cause your power rates to go up. It recirculates water. It doesn't have noise. It has employed thousands of people putting this thing in. So in Montgomery, it's already done. Again, we have 20 in the state already. We have 4,000 in our country. We're doubling the one in size of the one in Scottsboro, northern Alabama. They are a necessity for the future of mankind. It is AI, and AI will rule our educational system, our businesses, our manufacturing, everything that goes along with it, and it will make us a better country. You got to remember that. So, I'm not going to push it on anybody, Greg. Mayor or city council doesn't want $10 million a year for their school system. I'm fine with that. We'll go to somebody else, and that's what we're going to do.
mayor of Birmingham, this is very interesting. The mayor of Birmingham was named, what was it yesterday, Crime Fighter of the Year?
Yeah, I think so.
Because in Birmingham, he chose to hire 200 additional police officers, restore some law and order. All of their major crime statistics dropped. Here, we get the same old rigmarole. You'll be living in this town. Will it be safer?
It's going to be safe. It's going to be a lot safer. Now, we're going to have to do a lot of things. Again, you can have streets and great education and manufacturing. You can have data centers and all the tax money in the world. If you don't have safe streets and neighborhoods with the ability to people walk around and enjoy life, you don't have anything. We're not going to lose the capital of the state of Alabama, and it is heading in a spiral the wrong direction. And I work well with the mayor in Birmingham. I think that there's some things I'd like for him to do a little different. We're going to sit down, and I'm going to work well with all mayors across the state. But any mayor that does not control his streets and neighborhoods to allow me to be able to bring in new jobs, new manufacturing, because people want those safe environments. Any mayor that's going to be against that is going to have a tough time with old Coach. Going to have a tough time. And I'm looking forward to working with everybody across the state, but we are going to have a capital that people are going to be very proud of in the state of Alabama. And right now, I get nothing but negative coming out of Montgomery.
And there you go. I love the fact that he's always available to join us on a monthly basis. He doesn't run from any question. And I like the answers that I heard, especially on the data center issue. I think there's a lot of fear-mongering going on with that. Terry Adams.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Greg.
You want to do a sneak preview? Got anything you'd like to tease the listeners with, topic-wise?
I had a caller when I filled in for you that mentioned a movie on Tubi, T-U-B-I, that free app you can watch free movies.
Yeah.
This movie's called Operation Terror, and it goes through the agency and the Council on Foreign Relations, basically lays out what really happened on 9/11. And if you're a student of that, quote, terror event like I am, you want to watch this movie. It's
I used to see that as such a cut and dried thing.
Yeah.
My eyes have been opened.
Yeah.
Rich Thomas.
Not at
Same
all
thing.
what you
We've
think.
watched several things.
Yeah.
We are a long way from getting the complete story on that. Once
Yes,
again,
we are.
Terry, they called him crazy for looking into so many things that have turned out to be true. I don't know if you'll ever accept I never doubted you. I loved having you on the show, obviously.
No, you were the least of my antagonists, I guess. Barron, called me crazy because of chemtrails. And actually, he did a bit on his show about me and chemtrails. But, to each his own, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, you are next, sir. It is 5:26. We got a traffic update, and then Terry will also get you to 1819 News, Rich's forecast, and then ultimately health and wealth.
In the Montgomery Skywatch Traffic Center, we're looking okay right now, but boy, let me tell you, there's a lot of people on the roadway right now. 85 northbound carrying a lot of traffic. 65 northbound at the North Boulevard, that's starting to bunch up too. Just be careful. Haynes Ambulance is there for you, both on the ground and in the air. From the simple patient transport to life and death situations, Haynes is ready at a moment's notice. I'm Jerry Howell for Montgomery Skywatch, filling in for Wendell J.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide